Good evening, everyone. Welcome to FPL BlackBox ahead of Gameweek 12. Finally, we can talk FPL after for you and I, Andy, quite a dramatic international break. For everyone else, probably not so much. We'll talk a little bit about what the reasons are before that, and no one's going to care, but we're going to talk about it anyway because it's been the highlight of my international break. Good to have you here. I've gone full Mark Southerns. I'm mega stressed, so Andy, you need to calm me down over the next hour and a half because I'm up here.
So am I officially Az now then?
Oh, you never want to be Az. That's
No, I was going to say, yeah.
you're in the top million, so you can't look on full Az.
I mean, it says it all that everybody in the chat's like, is it really Black Box unless they're late? And
I know.
People were saying, is it going to be Az's fault or Andy's fault? This was firmly in the Az's fault tape, wasn't it?
It's not always. Like I'd say we share it. Yeah, this one. Basically, the reason for being late is you might remember a few weeks ago I talked about doing this transfer like Excel spreadsheet thing to help me decide whether a transfer was good or bad. I basically had quite a good version of it, and I got all the screens done quite early, and I thought I'm going to spend a couple of hours just perfecting it, fine-tuning it, using ChatGPT, tweak a few variables, see what happens. Balls the whole thing up. It's completely wrecked. Oh. So, yeah, we had a talking point on it. I am going to still show you what I've got, and we can do a few tests, but yeah, it's very much a beta version, and we probably won't spend a huge amount of time on it. But other than that, it's fine. It's fine.
It's such a shame because you had a meeting with FPL Towers tomorrow, didn't you? To obviously showcase your brand new tool, and unfortunately, yeah, that was going to be your millions, wasn't it?
I know. Well, I sent it to Mark. He didn't reply. So
bless him. It's probably too stressed.
I know. You've gone too far when even Mark Southerns isn't replying to you about FPL spreadsheets.
He replied to me. When did you send him a message?
Did he? What did he say to you? He didn't reply to you. He haven't got your number, has he?
I sent him a message and he replies instantly.
Wow.
Something like, Andy, Brosef, how's it going? Stuff like that. It's really nice.
He never messaged me. In fact, he was supposed to come to visit me in Brighton the other day, and he just never messaged me. And then he was like, "Oh, sorry, I forgot, lol."
It's a toxic relationship, that
it
is.
Is.
You need to get out of that.
I know. I don't miss it. Talking of toxic relationships, Andy, we've had a bit of a toxic relationship. This what a link. God. We've had a bit of a toxic relationship. What have we been up to? I mean, I'm sure people won't all be aware who's listening to this. What have we been up to over the last week?
So you signed up to do FPL Traitors, and I was first reserve, and then because Ash just went AWOL, Greyhead called me in and said, do you fancy playing as well? So again, me and you have in some ways got a lot closer this international break, and in other ways probably got a little bit further away in terms of how we feel about each other.
Yeah, I am only going to talk about this for 5 minutes. I was talking to Yels about it earlier, and I said I've got to have 5 minutes on this, and a lot of people aren't going to care. But basically, FPL Traitors was set up by Greyhead, and it was 15 members of the community. And for those of you who watched Traitors, it was like Traitors style, banishments and murders every night, and different challenges that he set and things like that. But obviously, it's all done over WhatsApp and DMs and things because we didn't actually meet up to do it. And it went on for a week. So it was Monday to Monday over the international break. And I mean, I could go on and on and on about all the drama and excitement. You wouldn't believe. I was told it would be a round table from 6 till 10, and that's all the input I needed. It was like get up at 6 in the morning, wasn't it? Check your phone, theories, defend yourself.
Yeah. I told you, it consumes you. It's in some ways, I would say it's better than doing like an experience and doing it for a day or a weekend or whatever, because for that whole week, that's all you do. And you have to do it in international break. And it was so ridiculously good. And the thing that I thought was really good as well was getting to know people that you wouldn't have necessarily spoken to normally in the FPL community, which was great. And just every night knowing that it could be you that's going to get attacked or murdered. But obviously, I wasn't worried about murders, was I? Because
this is it. I've got four things I wanted to talk about with it. So I'd like to say at the start, you and I had a very, very strong alliance.
Yeah,
we went in
lovely.
Obviously as mates, black box, all that. We promised each other like over DMs. We were like, right, you're not a traitor. No, you're not a traitor. Right, let's work through this together. 4 days of bliss, you and I working as a team. Yep. And then some seeds got planted in my mind. Yeah. And I started to think, I don't know about him. And they were right.
Yeah, why were they right? Because the people planting those seeds in your head were traitors as well, weren't
Yep, they were.
Exactly.
Yes,
and
they
I
were.
voted you on the second day as most easily manipulated. And
Yep.
how did that go?
You did that just to get in my head, though. It was, which is ironic because it did actually manipulate me. But we also had Nick there from FPL Juice, and going in, I said, well, Andy's the one I most trust because I feel like I know him, I could get a good read of him. Nick is the one who I trust the least, and I think he'd actually be a brilliant traitor. And the irony thing is, for those watching, you can see him and I won it. Because I used the seer power on him, which meant he had to reveal whether he was a faithful or a traitor. Obviously, I was faithful. He told me he was. And we just sort of saw out the whole game. But the biggest thing, Andy, was we got absolutely played. And FPL Stark, if you're listening to this, you played a blinder because you threw Andy under the bus. You threw Meerkat under the bus.
Yep.
It was me.
And Eco.
And Eco at the start, and it was me, Nick, and Stark in the final three, and he was just banking on the fact Nick and I wouldn't have the balls to banish him. But I've rung Nick up and I said, look, we need to do it because it guarantees us the win, and we did it. And he revealed he was a traitor, and what a week!
So good. It was genuinely so good. And if anybody hasn't played a Traitors or done anything like that, it is so much fun because everything you do gets scrutinized, and everything you do, if you're faithful, gets scrutinized because you could be a traitor, and it's just relentless. But it is absolutely brilliant. So if anybody gets a chance, it's really, really good fun to do. I know you enjoyed it because my girlfriend and I were getting constant messages from Yelena saying, we're supposed to be having a date night and this is ours, and it was just you on your phone. He's cooked me dinner and it was just you on your phone. So it consumed you massively, didn't it?
I was bad. I think as a faithful, I think it does consume you more because you don't know anything. You're trying to work everything out. Whereas I guess on your side, you were planting seeds and chatting amongst yourself. I was trying
to pretend to be working stuff out, and it's actually harder to do that.
Yeah, I know, that's true. That's true. Matty says, "Anyone know what they were talking about?" I did say you probably wouldn't. FPL Nobby says, "Not a clue." JS says, "FPL now, please." Come on, I said 5 minutes. That's been 5 minutes. That was all I wanted. But if you do get the chance next year to take part in Greyhead's tournaments, then do take part.
So good.
Yeah.
Can I mention as well very quickly? It's not linked to this, but it's just come out in the last week, I think, when me and you went on Double Pivot, and it was the FPL Tension.
Yes,
part.
Kieran.
So much fun. Like genuinely so good. So if anybody gets a chance to watch that, FPL Double Pivot, look it up. And it was FPL Tension, and it was me as Gianni and Jack Redditor, wasn't it?
Yep.
It's really, really good fun.
3 Scout Boys and one hub. Yeah, no, it was really good, and and shout out to Kieran for organising that. It was a sort of a quiz game. Look it up, FPL Double Pivot. He's done quite a few episodes, and the questions are really clever, and really, really good. And this is I wanted to talk about this because this is what I love about this community, right? Being able to get involved in things like this, the quizzes, the meetups, the all the stuff people are doing. Awesome, love it. Really, really good. Okay, so with that, Andy, we should probably talk about FPL. Haven't thought about it for ages. You had an interesting end to Game Week 11 because you last minute decided to play one of your most powerful chips.
Yeah, it really was last minute as well. I did both lots of... So I was supposed to be streaming with you I was supposed to be streaming with Luke on the Wednesday. Had a bit of bad news family-wise, so I ended up not streaming on the Wednesday, but streamed Tuesday. And I kind of had about 10% chance of free hitting. Basically, I didn't like my Bournemouth players. I thought Bournemouth were going to really struggle against Villa. Turns out they massively struggled, lost 4-0. And Semenyo missed a pen. Obviously, I wasn't planning for that. And I really wanted Chelsea players just for this week. I thought they were going to demolish Wolves. I just looked at it and thought, this is the kind of fixture I really want to target Chelsea, but I don't want to own Chelsea players moving forward. So, and I kept looking at it and thinking, when else am I going to use free hit? But as long as I can try and get enough points away from the average, that's all that anybody else wants to do in any other week anyway. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to play it this week. Turns out Bournemouth did get absolutely demolished by Villa 4-0. And Chelsea did okay. I brought in Cucurella, Enzo, and Pedro, who did fairly well. If I hadn't have played my free hit and I'd have rolled like I wanted, like I was going to, I would have had 41 points plus an extra transfer. So an extra 11 points. I think the average was high 30s. So I think it was kind of like a mini success, basically. And it's now out the way. I don't need to think about it anymore. Game week 13, I think, is probably going to be the next time when a lot of people free hit, but they're going to be getting rid of Arsenal players, I would have thought. So, yeah, it doesn't feel that bad. I think a lot of it went fairly well. I played Paquetá over Sarr. That actually worked out quite well. I had Sells instead of Raya. That actually worked out quite well as well. So, and obviously with the Chelsea boys as well, I toyed with Saka as captain, but I wasn't really serious about it. And with free hit, I thought I was already kind of using something quite differential. I didn't really want to go ultra differential by going Saka captain as well, but that would have been even lovelier. But yeah, 52 points. I'm going to take it as a mini success.
I'd be disappointed.
Oh, would you now? Why?
Just think 52 points, 11 points more than me, 12, 13 points more than the average, free hit.
On a single game week?
Well, you were the one who was like, oh, I'd be happy with 8 points on my bench boost. Then you end up getting like 17, 18.
I think you'd be surprised. I think in a single game week, it's a lot harder. I think because if I was free hitting out loads of injured players, I think that's very, very different. But I was free hitting out loads of players that were going to be playing. And you're going to do it. When are you thinking of free hitting?
Well, my strategy is all up in the air at the moment because I was going to bench boost this week and then free hit potentially next week. But the bench boost is now... I mean, look at them. You can see from this screenshot alone. I haven't got a lot of these players, but the levels of injuries and everything that's gone on is wrecking people's teams. And I'm not sure if bench boosting right after an international break maybe is the best. But it worked out last time for the people who did, but I'm not too sure if it's going to work out. I'll come to my team in a bit, but yeah, I'm not. The free hit is a difficult one. I think it's either going to be in 13 or 16. The trick is when to get on Liverpool, because we're going to be talking about Liverpool a bit later on, and the trick is to know which, if we're not like going massive on them, maybe a lot of us are thinking about bringing in Van Dijk or maybe a Gakpo or something like that. Mm-hmm. But I think the trick is when does Salah score a hat-trick? When do Liverpool win a game really, really comfortably over the amazing run they've got? And if you can time that right, that's a season changer. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Okay. And when you free hit with Salah in your team, it's going to be a double up of Salah and Haaland, I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, it has to be. These are the options, right? So 13 looked logical to me because it's West Ham away for Liverpool, and we know West Ham, well, they've had a couple of decent results, but you could load up you could get in Salah and Haaland there. It's going to be hard to go against Haaland. We talk about 13, 16. 13, you've got to have Haaland. Leeds at home. Yeah. You captain. Like it's even with Salah, you're still going to captain him. 16 presents another alternative because it's Palace away. Mm-hmm. So you could go without him for that. But is there enough elsewhere to warrant it? Right? So because is Palmer going to be back? Well, yeah, Salah will be gone by then. Will Palmer be back? Everton at home?
I genuinely think it's one of those things where people are saying, oh yeah, but free hit in another week is going to be much better. I genuinely want you to tell me which week you're going to free hit and you'll get 20 points more than the average. Because if you do it in 13, you're doing it instead of Arsenal players. So you're going to ditch all the Arsenal and everybody else will still have Arsenal.
I'm not saying I'll get it. I'm saying if my free hit chip only got me 11 points, I would be thinking I hadn't made a great use of it.
Yeah. Thing is as well, the thing that hurts is it's 11 points plus I lose a free transfer.
Yeah.
That's that. But obviously everybody will whenever they use it. But it's, I do think it's going to be one of those chips where I think a lot of people are going to play it in 13. And I think a lot of people will be hoping Arsenal don't do very well. But away to Chelsea, obviously, that might be the case. And obviously with Gabriel injured now, it might be the case even more so. But I think FPL is a tough old game anyway, and it's tough to try and find joy. And if I've come out of a game week 400k green arrow using a chip, I'm just going to take it and walk away with it. People in the chat are kind of umming and ahhing as to whether it's good or not. J77 Lag says double my points, Andy. So I don't know. It's a strange one. I think going into it, I wanted more from Chelsea. I think I wanted maybe
That's it. Yeah,
they scored 4 goals. Obviously, Bournemouth really struggled, and a lot of people played those players. But I maybe wanted a goal from Enzo or a brace from Pedro, something like that, or some bonus from Cucurella. That would have been better, maybe. But you say that, I was very close to not having Pedro and playing James and Cucurella.
Yeah.
So it could have been a lot worse as well. So I'll take it. In hindsight, the thing I could have done maybe is back against the Arsenal clean sheet. And gone for another defender in there, but it's all hindsight, really.
See, I think your decision to play it was good. I think actually looking at this team, I think it is good. It's like exactly like you say. It's a shame that those 3 Chelsea players combined for 16 points because they won that game comfortably. You know, Pedro gets a brace, Enzo gets a goal. Suddenly, you're 20 points ahead of the average, and it's looking really good. I think 11's sort of like the bare. You know, I mean, the thing with the 3 here is you could always end up on a minus. So it's different to the other chips in that at least that starts at 0, unless you get like a sending off or something like that. But this chip is evil because your old team could easily outscore the other one. So yeah, I know what you mean. It's not too bad. I'm hoping for more because I need more. Because if I don't get more than 11 points on my free hit, then it's not going to be great for me.
Yes, we'll see what happens.
Yes. So this was me, 41 points. Oh, a horrible screenshot. I didn't format this at all correctly. Pope in goal, Gabriel, Lacroix, and Diouf. Good old Lacroix coming through with Gahey missing out. I wasn't expecting that. That was a bit of a shock.
Should be back this week by the looks of it.
Diouf, 1 point, home to Burnley.
I almost went with Fabianski in goal, didn't I? No, Areola in goal, sorry.
Yeah, like I told you, you've got to go for sales.
Yeah, that went well.
Yep.
Got me 1 extra point.
Saka, Semenyo missed the penalty. Rice, Sarr, Enzo, Haaland and Mateta. I made a triple move this week and last week, and none of them scored. I took Reinders, who was it? Reinders, Gordon, and who was my other forward? Who was absolutely useless. It wasn't Calvert-Lewin. Oh, Gyökeres, who was injured. Yeah, and got him Mateta, Sarr and Rice, and they all blanked. So annoying. Blanks for the Palace players. Annoying for Palace, good for Brighton. Enzo blank. Semenyo missed a penalty. Juve got 1 point. Pope conceded. It wasn't great, but it was in and around the average. So yeah. Lots of weird people in the chat tonight. Look at what the international break's done to people.
Yeah, I know, big time. This is what FPL does to people, unfortunately.
I know. Oh, thanks, Colm. Good effort. Great and the good. What's that done for the standings? Well, Luke's gone ahead of you.
Yeah.
With his 55 points. You two are... Well, no, he hasn't got ahead of you, actually. You are level on points, but he's made fewer transfers.
Yeah, I don't know what was his team this week. I need to have a look at that because I was wondering, did he have Thiago?
I don't think so. You're streaming on Friday.
He had Keane, who got a goal. Got him 15 points.
That's twice he's had a goal from Keane this season.
Yeah, and that was with his free hit, I think, wasn't it? So we're equal on 657. So I, to be honest, with the start a lot of us have had, some of us have managed to climb out of it. Some of us are still in it. So I'm happy to be.
Go on, just say who you mean. Say you mean.
I mean FPL General. Who do you mean?
He'll be gutted, won't he? I mean, FPL General is the only person in the great and good below me. Obviously, he's playing with a bit of a handicap this season in the sense that he can't own Salah or Haaland. He captained Mateta, and he'll be gutted by that, right? Because Haaland, this is the week where Haaland didn't really perform, and Mateta scores or gets a couple of goals. He goes ahead of me, so he really needed that to come through, and it didn't happen. So he'll be annoyed about that. But I mean, a pretty good week overall for the great and the good. Praz, Ben Krellin, Tom Dollimore, and FPL Harry, of all people, all on Reds. A 36 pointer for Harry.
Yeah. It was out there this week. There was a lot of duds this week, and obviously, if you didn't own Saka, you were even more struggling and faced a lot of pain this week. But yeah, no surprise. And Praz and Krellin obviously had quite a few good weeks in a row, and then they obviously dropped down a little bit again. But yeah, I think it sounds so weird going into game week 12, but I'm actually fairly happy being in the top 1 million. But I'm well aware that there's a lot of free hits still to play. I've got triple captain left to play, so we'll see when I play that. But yeah, no, I'll take it, to be perfectly honest.
I think you're in an all right position. I mean, you think about last season when you had an amazing run. Was it like 12 green arrows in a row? You were around 800k then, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We finished 80k.
Yeah, and that was like eight weeks left. Whereas where you are now, if you put a run like that together again, you could still finish really high.
Yeah, and to be fair, with 5 free transfers, so getting topped up to 5 free transfers in game week 16, that's the thing. Like, it feels like you can take a few risks and know that you can just go back to the template in 16 if you need to, kind of thing. So I don't actually hate the idea of being where I am right now, knowing that I can just change things quite a lot in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah. Well, the Gabriel injury is good for me because I'm fighting the dead teams down in 5 million. And when you've got a highly owned player like Gabriel and he gets injured, that means I'm going to get points just for making a transfer as opposed to leaving him in. So the first talking point is obviously on defenders. I think the Gabriel news is a big one. Timber, who's on the picture, he's obviously being highly bought in. Lots of people moving for him. That could well be my move as well. The poster boy for this week's Black Box is, of course, Van Dijk, because people are looking at him. As well. I'm not sure when my voice broke as I said Van Dijk, but there it is.
I know, it's lovely.
just when I think about it, my voice just breaks. Obviously, very, very popular as well. I thought we would just head over to the defenders list to see who we're thinking, because I mean, realistically, with Gabriel out, he is the most expensive defender, I think, in the game.
Yes, 6.6.
So you can get anyone. You can get literally anyone you like. So I mean, there's loads of options. There's loads of different things, and we talk about options, we talk about other things, but head over to Scout, because Scout got a great article on defenders and whether you go for another premium or a mid-priced option or one of the budget options. But we could talk through all of these, but when I say to you, Gabriel's out, who are you thinking of bringing in? Where does your head say?
Well, it's worth saying, obviously, unless you've only just invested in Gabriel, you won't be selling him for 6.6. Most likely, people will be selling him for 6.2, 6.3, somewhere around there, I would have said. And it's also worth mentioning that Timber went up last night, so he is now 6.2 million. So if you haven't made that move early, it is almost an exact swap if you are selling Gabriel at 6.2, 6.3. So I think there's quite a few avenues you can go down, and I've been thinking about this quite a lot over the last couple of days.
Just before we get into that, just really quickly, we think he's out. At this stage of recording, we think he's going to be out for a substantial amount of time.
Romano has come out and tweeted saying that a month minimum. So you'd assume that that's now what's going to be happening. I think early reports were between 1 and 2 months. Romano's come out and said, a month looks most likely, because I think Eder Militao also got injured for Brazil as well. And so he kind of came up with an update for both of those.
So you sell, right? You sell regardless of the value you've got tied up in him. I guess that's the first question to answer. Do you sell? And the answer is yes. Yeah, cool.
Yes, 100%. I think if he was just out for a week, I think because of the value a lot of people have tied up in him, it's an okay hold. But because he is going to be out for longer, and obviously over the Christmas period there's so many games that somebody can miss, I think you kind of have to do it. So I think there's a few avenues you go down, and if I just kind of run through those avenues quickly for you, and then you can kind of elaborate on those avenues. Does that sound good?
I'll sit here, I'll sip my wine, and I'll listen to you talk avenues all night long.
Wine glass. Oh, traitor behaviour. So I think there's a few avenues you don't go down. Number one, you do a kind of sideways move to Timber. Obviously, the Arsenal defence is elite. It's whether that takes a little bit of a dip because Gabriel is out. Gabriel is top for pretty much all stats defensively for Arsenal. So he's top for defensive contributions, for interceptions, for blocks, for clearances, for everything. That's why he's been such a DEFCON monster this year, and we didn't expect him to be. With him out, does having Mosquera or Hincapie coming in make a massive difference to their defence? And which one is it that's going to come in? I don't think you can confidently say it's going to be either or. So I don't think you can go for the replacement of Gabriel. I don't think you can go for Saliba because he just doesn't get the DEFCON and he's not any kind of presence in terms of attacking sense. So I don't think you can go for him. So Timber's the only obvious choice because Calafiori also went off in the international break injured as well.
Arsenal have not had a good international break, have they?
They really haven't. And obviously with Lewis Skelly just there, it could be the case that he gets rested this week because obviously there was maybe a little bit of a niggling injury. Now, Timber attacking wise His stats are pretty sensational. XGI per 90 of 0.28, you can see on the table here. It is a pretty good move going from Gabriel to Timber. The only thing I will say is with the fixtures, Spurs at home and then Chelsea away, are they going to keep up this elite defence in those two games? We saw them get rattled against Sunderland. If you've already got one Arsenal defender, or whether it's Raya, could you move elsewhere? Now, one of the other avenues you could go down, which is the popular bandwagon avenue, is Van Dijk, because Liverpool's fixtures are pretty ridiculous. Forest at home, West Ham away, Sunderland at home, Leeds away, Brighton at home. If they're going to pick up any kind of form, and with Alisson coming back in as well, I'm assuming this week, but it could be the week after, are we going to see something from Van Dijk and from Liverpool to show us that we should be investing in them? And do we move now? Obviously, it's a downgrade, so you get a bit of money back as well. He is a DEFCON beast. We've seen that already this season. So even if they don't keep clean sheets, we're expecting kind of maybe 3 or 4 minimum from him. And if he does keep a clean sheet, it'll be up there. So I think Van Dijk is viable. If you don't have a Palace defender, I think a Palace defender is extremely good to look at. So whether that's Munoz, Lacroix, Gay, who looks like he's going to be back this week, even Richards, they're all fantastic.
Yep.
So I think any of those. But for me, I think it's really close between Timber and Van Dijk. The other way you can go is a bit differential, which you absolutely hate, which is Nico O'Reilly, because he has been low-key balling so far this season. He's 4th on this list, 0.20 XGI per 90. He started 8 of the last 9 games. Obviously, Ait Nouri is back, and Ait Nouri back obviously hurts him, but he's kind of made that spot his own, and Ait Nouri will be gone in 4 weeks anyway. So O'Reilly's also there as well. Now, I've talked for far too long. You talk me through some of those avenues, because I think it's quite fun that the most expensive, probably the best FPL asset we've got this season, apart from Haaland, is now injured. Everybody owns him, and there's so many different ways people can go. And I don't remember too many weeks like this. So just talk me through what you're thinking.
I can't believe what I've just listened to. I've just listened to Andy North give an incredibly detailed rundown of every asset we should be considering. It's blown my mind, to be honest. Don't know what's happened. I've just updated the table because there was a couple of off things with the it's sort of by FPL points, and it was a little bit of, not any huge changes, but I've just adjusted that. I don't know where I'm going to go because
Just finish there.
The very obvious options are you've got Gabriel, you switch to Timber or Van Dijk. That is what I think 80% of people are going to be looking to do. I think you have got a bit of a question mark if you've already got Raya. And obviously if you already got Timber, do you go for another Arsenal defender and double up, even though the fixtures aren't as good as they were? They've just conceded 2 to Sunderland. We don't know how they're going to be with Gabriel out for a month. So I think the double up in defence is definitely less attractive than it was in the past. The thing is, I mean, Van Dijk is 45th on the list in terms of FPL points per 90. We had him when we started the season S tier originally. I think we did move him down in the end. But 3.73 points. So compared to Gabriel, he's on 7.3. So he's getting half the points that Gabriel does. Defensively, they look pretty poor. DEFCON, he's doing all right. I mean, 55-ish% is really, really high. I think that's maybe higher than we predicted he would be, but I think that's as a result of the fact Liverpool have been worse defensively. So although Liverpool are worse defensive, that's almost boosted Van Dijk a little bit more because his ability to get DEFCON has been increased. So I don't hate it. I mean, one person that a lot of people were talking about before last week was Konate.
Yeah,
and he's 41. And do you think there's actually it's only 0.5 between them?
Yeah.
Would you consider Konate?
I think
you mention him.
I think I maybe would have done if it weren't going into the Christmas period. And I don't think Konate's been great this season. And I think a lot of Liverpool fans keep watching him in games and thinking, my God. And I just think Van Dijk, you've just got...
My God.
Van Dijk, you've just got such security with him, haven't you? Like, he's going to be playing every single one of those games through the Christmas period. You can bring him in and just keep him there. And we saw it against City. He does have that goal threat as well. Obviously, he got a goal wrongly chalked off against City. If he'd have scored that goal, genuinely, I think he'd be the most bought-in player for Gabriel. Right. Yeah, which just goes to show how obviously it works in FPL. But I think Van Dijk should definitely be in the conversation because we get so caught up on what's already happened, and we get so caught up on, oh, they haven't kept clean sheets, so they're never going to keep clean sheets. People said that about Brighton; they've just kept 2 in a row. The only thing I'll say is, though, they do concede a lot of big chances. I think it's 28 big chances they've conceded this year. It's a worry, and obviously something's got to change to make that stop. But it could easily happen. They could keep a clean sheet against Forest at home, Sunderland at home, Leeds away, couldn't they? I think they could.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I mentioned Konate is because in terms of points per 90, he's basically identical. He's 46% DEFCON compared to 55, so that's probably 1 game less. Well, he's not got it, and Van Dijk has. He's 0.5 cheaper, and he's going to play because they've literally got no other centre back. So I think what's putting people off is the fact that it's Konate and he's not having a great season. But in reality, FPL doesn't really care as to whether Konate is a better player at football than Van Dijk, which he isn't. It only cares about what they get in terms of points, and there isn't a huge amount between it. So I do get it. I mean, it's a good way to pivot onto the team data defense, because I think this is really key. Like if we think Gabriel's going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks, that's effectively 6 games or in and around that. So actually, where we've got the next 6 difficulty, this is when it's really, really good to know where to go for. And this is where Liverpool are top. So Liverpool have the best next 6. Second is Bournemouth. A lot of us have got Senesi, so is a double up with Truffert terrible? I know they just got hammered 4-0 to Villa, but again, with the second best fixtures is an option. Third is Manchester United. And De Ligt, I'm seeing people mentioning De Ligt in the chat already.
Yeah, I like De Ligt. I think obviously United are second in terms of fixtures moving forward. They got Everton at home, West Ham at home, Wolves away, Bournemouth at home. The thing that worries me about United is they're still an unknown quantity, really, in terms of when you bring a player in, what are you really expecting? If De Ligt was cheaper, if he was kind of 4.5, I can kind of understand people doing it. But at 5 million, you've kind of got to play him most weeks. And I think De Ligt's got his DEFCON 40% of the time, something like that. I think it is. I think he's got it 3 times, 4 times.
He's got it, fat 50%. So in and around the same as someone like Van Dijk.
Yeah. So I don't think he's overly high on my list, to be perfectly honest. There are some really good cheap options as well if you really wanted to move down off Gabriel. So like you've got players like Anderson, you've got Van Hecke from Brighton, who's been very good as well.
Yeah, I'm not really. I'm not getting that.
I worry about moving the funds off of Gabriel and then not being able to get him back. That would be my worry. But yeah, I don't think De Ligt is up there for me. I mean, we've got, where has he gone? Matt Francis in the chat saying there are 44 players better than Virgil van Dijk according to this list. Why are we even considering him? So is it literally just fixtures? Is that what we're being blinded by? Everything else is saying don't go for a Liverpool defender. Why are we being blinded by the fixtures?
Well, I think it is fixtures, right? I mean, that's all you can really do a lot of the time. You've got a top team like Liverpool. Are you backing them to turn things around and start getting clean sheets? If they're going to, it has to be this run. Because if you look at the fixtures they've got, they are literally. It's very rare you see a team have this good a run of fixtures, let alone arguably the first, second, third best. However you want to. I'm not going to get into that debate. Wherever you see them now, I mean, Forest, West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds, Brighton. I mean, Forest, West Ham, Sunderland. I'd even put Leeds into that as well, even though they're away from home. Liverpool, they could get 3 clean sheets in those 4, and I don't think that would massively surprise anyone. It might do with the form they've got, but Forest can't score a goal. West Ham are terrible. Sunderland's attacking data is really poor, and Leeds, they're a funny team. They're much better at home, and I do back them more at home. But they've got Calvert-Lewin up front, so. And if they get 3 and 4 clean sheets, and Van Dijk chips in with a goal and a couple of DEFCON as well,
whoa.
It's going to be smashing it.
Are we using Calvert-Lewin as a? This is why teams are going to keep.
Mate, I saw him live, and it turns out he's not the Messiah.
Oh, he's a very naughty boy.
He is a very, very naughty boy. Yes, yeah. It's a good run for them. And the thing is, we're not. I think we're biased against Konate for reasons we just said. You're not going to be going near Bradley or Frimpong because Szoboszlai is also playing there. You're not going to go for Kirkes or Robertson. And Alisson's going to be back soon, so that ruins the backup goalkeeper. So you've only really got Van Dijk if you do want to tap into the defence. So I do get it.
I do. I think the biggest thing is, like I said, whether you just moved straight to another Arsenal defender, and I think Timber's just there with the attacking stats as well. I do wonder whether that's the simple move. Do you think, because this is the big question as well, do you think Gabriel's injury is going to impact this Arsenal team in terms of keeping clean sheets? Remembering as well that they've got Spurs at home, North London derby, they've got Chelsea away after that. Do you think that going for a Van Dijk or Munoz, whatever it is you're going to go instead, is a better move based on how many points you're expecting from them in the next couple of weeks?
I don't necessarily think Gabriel. I think the options you just mentioned that can come in. We've seen them in cup games, and we've seen them in when we've played the old game in the Champions League. They look like they can come in and do a job. They're not as good as Gabriel, because Gabriel is one of the best defenders in the league. So you're always going to be a bit limited by it. But the thing is, Arsenal just allow so few shots to take place, and that isn't solely down to Gabriel. That's to do with the midfield, the pressing of all the attackers, everything that happens in that team. So I am expecting Gabriel to come out and someone else to come. We're not even totally sure who that's going to be. Yeah, Mosquera, maybe?
So I did a bit of research, and FPL Scout, by the way, I've said this every week. Their articles they're bringing out every week are so good,
honestly, they're next level this season. Genuinely,
every week I look at it. There's about 3 or 4. I'm like, oh, I've got to read that. And they did one this week about will Arsenal's defence improve, or not improve, but would it decline with him out? And they looked at last year.
If it improves.
Yeah, no. They looked last year, the last 8 weeks of the season, because he was out, and it was Kiwior that came in for him.
Yep.
Obviously, Kiwior's gone now, but Kiwior came in. In the last 8 weeks, they only kept 2 clean sheets. So with Gabriel not there, they could only manage 2 clean sheets. Now, it is worth saying that the replacements they got in since Kiwior's gone, in Hincapie and Mosquera, are much better. They are much better players, and I think they can slot in a lot better. In terms of who's going to slot in more naturally, I think Hincapie being left-footed, being on that left-sided centre-back, I think that makes sense for him to play there. But Mosquera has also played there as well. There is also the opportunity that Calafiori could play him in at centre-back, and Lewis Skelly plays at the left.
Or Timber, and Ben White comes in.
Exactly. Yeah. And Ben White comes in. So it's all a little bit of a mess there, I think. And it's whether that kind of change around is going to make a massive difference to their clean sheet potential.
I think the one thing is, I don't love those fixtures. Like, Spurs have been poor, but anything could happen in a derby like that. Yeah. Chelsea away, again, that could be low scoring, but it's Chelsea at home.
Spurs are very good away, by the way. Very good away.
Spurs, Chelsea, Brentford. This is the thing. I think the obvious choice is to go for Timber, but when it's Spurs, Chelsea, and this surprise package of the season, Brentford, which they're looking to be, that's not a guarantee that there's going to be clean sheets in those, as good as they have been.
Yeah. And, Timber does have the attacking stats, which you've got to remember as well. Obviously, a lot of that was in one game. One game he absolutely destroyed. He get 24 points, I think it was, wasn't it? Van Dijk has got the DEFCON, which is important. So obviously that increases his floor, and it increases his ceiling as well. I think it's close between them. And it's all about whether we think Arsenal are going to keep those clean sheets in the next 3, whether they're going to... Because Gabriel's a massive loss. Like, anybody that says it's not going to make any difference is going to make a slight difference, isn't it? And it is going to make a difference in terms of them attacking set pieces as well. And I thought it was really interesting against Sunderland. It's the most flustered I've ever seen them. I've seen them this season. They look so flustered. Conceding first made a massive difference. And obviously they needed to then attack a bit, which helped Saka. But I think it's close. I think it's really close between them.
The next 3 teams should cause them problems in that sense. Like, Spurs are going to get at them because they have to. Chelsea are at home. The crowd are going to be on their backs. And then Brentford, like I said, they're going to cause some problems from throw-ins and things like that. Because Sunderland had great effects from set pieces and everything else. That's how they're going to try and get a goal against them. So the other option for me is to go for Cucurella.
Yeah.
Because he's the same price. I get him for Burnley. I free hit in 13, so I avoid the Arsenal fixture anyway. And then I have Leeds, Bournemouth, Everton. Don't hate that. Don't hate that.
Yeah.
But no, I tell you what I do hate. Owning Cucurella.
Well, yeah. I mean, I owned him last week and he wasn't too bad. But can I say now, whoever comes in for Gabriel this week, I bet you they hit DEFCON, and I bet you they're the most transferred in defender the next week.
And they score.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So whether it's Mosquera or Hincapie, whoever it is that comes in, I bet you they keep a clean sheet, get DEFCON, and all of a sudden it's like, right, this is who we go for. So maybe waiting a week's not the worst idea.
Yeah, I mean, the other option, a few people have mentioned in the chat is Cash, Matty Cash.
Yeah.
I've been really impressed with him. But if you actually look at his XGI, when I've watched him play, I thought, bloody hell, Cash is more rolling up and down. He's getting there. XGI 0.09. It's like one of the lowest of all defenders in the league. So he's got a couple of goals, but the stats don't point that that's going to be a regular thing. I just don't know about Villa. I know they've just won 4-0, but their stats are really poor, and you never know if it's was that anomaly, if they turned the corner. You want to see a bit more from them. It's
a different Villa team that turns up most weeks by the looks of it. And I mean, I mentioned earlier about O'Reilly. Mateus Nunes is there as well. He's got that right back slot nailed. But 0.08 in terms of attack and returns. Yeah, he is.
And then retracted it immediately. But
he's 5.3. I mean, like I said, I can't really remember a time when we've had this many options to move to, which is quite fun.
I think what we are saying though is move to a centre back.
Yeah,
unless it's Timber
or Munoz.
Yeah, I mean, Munoz and Timber, I guess, are different. You need to look at them with a different lens, because Munoz is literally the most attacking defender in the league, and Timber is playing for the most incredible defence I think we've probably ever seen since that Chelsea season. Okay, I'm going to put it to you, Andy. Top 3. You've got Gabriel. You're probably going to be moving him out. Top 3.
Stop tapping. I'm
excited.
So I'm going to say this now. I've got Munoz as well, so I'm not going to put him in my list. So I'm going to say Van Dijk top. I'm going to say Timber second, and then I'm going to say, after that, do you know what? I'm going to go with O'Reilly third. I think O'Reilly could be a really fun pick, so I'm going to go those 3.
I hate the O'Reilly pick. I
know you do.
I just think it's...
Which makes me love it more.
I know. Well, Luke likes it. You asked him in the chat earlier what he thinks, and he said, he's probably going to miss one of the next 3 or 4 games, but hopefully that'll be in the Champions League.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I just think Aït Nouri got injured. Then was the time to buy O'Reilly. Not now Aït Nouri's back and putting pressure on him in the team. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, when a Pep player is playing well, it's not the time to buy him after he's been playing well, because that's usually when he obviously loses his place. But I think he's great. I think he's really good. And at 5 million, it's just, and I think this is what Luke said to us as well, it's whether you can stomach him not playing. And if he doesn't play, how likely is he to come on? Can you stomach a 1-pointer, or can you have, because we've all got amazing defenders on our bench, haven't we? We've all got players at DEFCON that are playing well. I think if you can stomach it, I like the pick.
But why risk it? Why pick O'Reilly when there's so many centre-backs that are earning DEFCON every week, and they've got good fixtures, and you don't need to punt on someone like Man City. I don't even trust defensively anyway, let alone picking a left-back for them.
Because what's he got? FPL points per 90. He's on 6.69. He's fourth in terms of...
Because he got a goal. He got a pretty outrageous goal. His XGI per 90, 0.2, is not great.
Hang on, I was going to look at his actual point returns, because he smashed it the last couple of weeks.
There's absolutely zero part of me that would even consider O'Reilly as an option.
He's had an 11-pointer, an 8-pointer, and an 11-pointer in the last 4 weeks. That you'd be lifted up to the top 3 mil.
Well, he's massively overperformed though, isn't he? He's not going to get those points every... And then when he doesn't play and you get 1-pointer and you watch, like, I don't know, the Gahys and the, like, Tarkovskis and all these great centre-backs we've got. I mean, those 2 maybe aren't the best 2. I couldn't think of any others, but those 2... Nah, I'm not buying it. My top 3 are a Timber. A Timber, I think, is top because I haven't got a Raya, so having an Arsenal defender, I feel like, is probably quite key. Mm-hmm. Then it's Van Dijk, and then I think it's either Cucurella, who I'm not completely ruling out, or go down to Anderson, because I think at 4-5 Anderson is a great pick. I mean, 70% of the times he plays, he gets DEFCON. If Fulham can sort out their defence, actually start.
Fulham are bad though.
They are.
Fulham are bad this year.
What's their fixtures like? They've got the ninth best fixtures, and their defensive data isn't bad. They're in the top 10. They're 7th.
Yeah, but they are bad this year. They're struggling, and obviously there's a lot of unrest with the manager as well. A lot of kind of chat about whether he's going to be losing his job soon. I don't think it's. I like Anderson, and obviously he's cheap enough as well. But I do worry moving from Gabriel all the way down to a 4.5. But
yeah, okay. Good discussion. Right, nerd. Let's take a look at my spreadsheet where we're at.
Nerd. Here we go.
This is going to be absolutely dreadful for the podcast listeners, so you might want to skip ahead 10 minutes or something like that. This is what I've been building over the last couple of weeks, something like that. So hopefully you can see something. The idea of this, and what I eventually want to do this is put it on the, where we've got the predictions site for the patrons and things, put it on there so that you can have checkboxes and put it on there, because I think that'd be quite nice. So you'll see a load of numbers on the right. Those are like automated. So as I talk through it, those things will adjust. But the idea of this is you put in a player out, you put in a player you want to bring in, and it basically tells you how good a transfer that is. So Andy, I gave you some homework. Bear in mind, I tried this earlier. It's not working very well. But rather than taking 3, I thought we'd take 1 and just see if we broadly agree with what is coming out of at the moment. So what have you got for me?
So I've got Semenyo out.
Yep.
And Jeremy Doku in.
Okay.
So I love the fact you had to type in semen to.
Is that why you picked him?
No, it wasn't, but it did make me laugh. You stopped at semen and then auto
I didn't even notice
Semenyo.
Didn't even notice that. And Semenyo's got West Ham at home, isn't he? Next game. Okay. So there's still a bit. Bear in mind, this is very much the first draft, so bear with me.
No
okay,
pressure.
so now you basically go through this, right? So you look at Semenyo and you go, is he injured or rotated? Well, I know he had the slight injury doubt, but then we saw the picture of him proposing, right?
Yeah.
So he got released from international duty, but that was to propose. Is that the general consensus? Incredible.
Yeah. Unless he pulled something going down on one knee, I think he should be fine.
And then the next one is next fixture. So, the next one is poor form. So is he in poor form? I guess he probably is, right, in terms of points and goals and stuff.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess he probably is. Then it's next fixture. So the specifically, do you need to get rid of him this week or can you wait a bit? So
it's West Ham at home.
So what I did with this, and I'm really showing my nerdy, is I went through the last 7 seasons of data and I got an average for basically like a good defence, so in the top 10, and then a really good defence, whether they're in the top 6. And these are numbers I got. So a good defence is an XG conceded of 1.16 to 1.25. That puts them in like the good bracket.
Right.
West Ham's is 1.33, so it's way above both of those. So basically, it's not a good time to sell Semenyo because he's playing West Ham, right? So those get left blanked. Then it's next 6 fixtures. They've got the second best fixtures, according to this. So he doesn't get something for either of these. So he doesn't get any points added to his transfer out value because he's got good fixtures. Price dropping.
Your tapping is coming through so loud, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm excited. Spreadsheets. Okay,
I'm assuming it's your foot.
Price dropping? Is his price going down? I don't think it is.
No, I don't think so.
I assume it's your foot. Captaincy, I don't think we'd be captaining him. Yeah. No blank game week. Is he passing the eye test? I haven't really watched too much of Semenyo lately.
I think he is, yeah. I think he's still fine.
He's still fine? Okay, we'll take that off then. His attacking data is very low. So Bournemouth are actually 0.98. So they're not creating a lot of chances. So again, I did the same thing with the top 6. Mm-hmm. And something. So if they're basically below 1.06, that is outside of the top 10 over the last 6 seasons. So the data isn't great. He's not a set piece taker. I don't think Clivert takes those.
Well, penalties.
Yeah, penalties.
Oh,
is the
sorry,
next one.
penalties is that one. Yeah, no, he doesn't take any other set pieces. No,
but we're also assuming he's not a pen taker, right? Because Clivert's going to take him.
Yeah, it depends because Clivert's in and out. Yeah, he's got pen share. That's the thing, isn't it?
So Matt Bugsby, I'm up at 3 a.m. for this. Of course you are. This is what we do. I'm going to say he's not a pen taker. I'm going to say Clivert's going to take it. And his XGI is 0.28, which is low. That's a poor XGI, so he gets a point for that. So basically, he has a transfer out score of 24. Don't worry about that. That comes into play later. And then you look at Doku. So he hasn't got a double game week. He is passing the eye test.
Yeah.
He doesn't take set pieces.
Nope.
He doesn't
Not
take pens. He's not the talisman.
Nope.
His XGI is good, 0.42, so he gets a thing in that. You would never captain him.
Yeah.
His XGI is between 1.15 1.65. It's 1.56, so he gets a tick there. Price isn't going up. His form isn't great, is it? He's only had the one goal.
I will double check for you.
Top 6 fixtures, they're 4th. He doesn't hit DEFCON. He doesn't get the bonus.
Yeah, no,
there's no hit involved. Yeah. He's not. He doesn't get the thing, and his minutes he doesn't play less than 80. So basically, you get a score for both of these, and then you get the average of that, and then that tells you basically whether the transfer is a good one or not. And so this says that Semenyo to Doku is a poor transfer,
Right.
and I'd agree with that.
Yeah. What's with the average? Sorry, so you do the transfer out score, the transfer in score. Why do you do an average?
Because it's out of 100. You're creating a score out of 100, so you can't add them together, because that would be out of 200. Right. I mean, you could do it. There's different ways to do it, but effectively you're ranking them on a similar sorts of metrics across both. So you're trying to find out if it's because if they've got a really high transfer out score and a really high transfer in score, they're both going to be in like the 60s or 70s, and then that average would then be 60 or 70.
Okay.
But this is one of the problems I had with the thing, because I did change the way I built it, and then it didn't really work. Anyway, that's the general idea of the spreadsheet. I like this from Matty. We don't need a spreadsheet to know Doku is not a good transfer. I'm glad this came up with this. Because, yeah, I think but basically the idea of this is what it tells you is that taking out Semenyo, the transfer out score is 24 out of 100. That's pretty poor. But you'd expect that, right? Because you wouldn't want to take Semenyo out now. He's got a good run of fixtures coming. He's playing West Ham next. All of that stuff. And Doku, although he looks fun and lively, when you actually look at the different bits for him, the transfer in score isn't that high, because he doesn't take set pieces, doesn't take penalties. Actually, his minutes is probably low, or at least he is a bit of a rotation risk. So I think in this example, I think this works.
Yeah, fair. I like it. So that's version 1, and we'll just
keep version 1. Yeah.
Keep adapting.
Keep adapting. Anyway, if you think of any ideas, anything you want to add to this, anyone listening, let me know. It's very much a work in progress. Lots of people saying in the chat that Semenyo's injured. I really don't think he is. I really think he's fine. Like there's context, right?
I am going to chop your foot off in a minute. I'm going to message Yelena.
Is it that loud? Is it that loud?
Maybe it's just me that can hear it. Maybe Clean Feed is sorting it out. But let me know in the chat if you can hear it as well, because if it's just me, I'm going mad here.
Let me know if you can hear my foot tapping.
Yes.
Key. I will stop. I promise. I will stop.
What's the next talking point, my man?
It's not Semenyo. Can't hear it. Look, no one is saying they can hear it. Can't hear it on the stream.
That's fair.
He's just mad. He lost Traitors. Yeah, exactly. The next one is Liverpool. So we've been talking about Van Dijk. We've been talking about Konate. What we haven't really been talking about is the other assets, right? And it's Salah. Are we ruling out Salah? Because I remember we did this stream a few weeks ago, and you said we'd all be idiots to not consider Salah in around this time. Any temptation?
No, because obviously it's all based on your team, how many transfers you have. I was at this point saying that it'd be quite nice to have quite a few free transfers and see if you can do a bit of surgery on your team to maybe fit him in, because having that option to do so would be great. Like I said, if he had scored a couple goals moving up to this, people would be looking at this fixture run thinking Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Sunderland at home, Leeds away, Brighton, there's goals to be had in that. But we haven't really seen enough from Salah to suggest that there's definitely going to be an uptick here in terms of his form. And obviously he goes in 16. So we have to see it in the next 4 weeks to justify even going there. And I don't know whether we are definitely going to see it. Now, I get it if someone's on a free hit and they bring him in for one of these weeks. Maybe it's game week 12, maybe it's even 13 or 14. It could be any of those. But it's so much money for not a guaranteed thing. And obviously, you can't bring in a player for that much money without it being a guaranteed thing, I don't think. And the problem is there's no one else to really invest in. Gakpo's kind of losing it. Although Gakpo's been great in terms of stats, he's losing his place to Wirtz because they've got to fit Wirtz in somewhere because he's 120 million and they've got to fit him in somewhere. Szoboszlai's obviously been mentioned quite a bit, but Szoboszlai, you've just brought up the table, he's 58th on this table in terms of XGI non-penalty per 90. I don't know where else you look, really.
I don't know where you look. I mean, Gakpo to me, if I was picking one, and I think we mentioned this, fairly recently. If I was picking one just from like what I've seen from Liverpool over the first 12 weeks or 11 weeks in Champions League and all that, Gakpo to me is just by far the standout. And it would be Ekitike. I would be saying Ekitike, but I just don't know how he gets into the team regularly with Isak there, because I don't think they're going to move Ekitike over to the left, because I think he is competing with Isak for the striker spot, and they've spent 110 million on a completely unnecessary player, because I think Ekitike is good enough to lead the line for Liverpool based on what I've seen. But anyway, it doesn't matter because he's there. So the only option really I feel like they've got a left wing is Gakpo. And I would love an excuse to bring him in, because if you look at the midfielder table, he's third in terms of XGI non-penalty per 90, 0.56.
But like I just said, I think they're trying to shoehorn Wirtz into that role.
They are.
And that's the biggest issue. And because of the amount they've spent, and by the way, this is Liverpool that have been linked heavily with Semenyo. So I don't understand that move. I really don't understand that move. If they get Semenyo as well, I think Slot's in a lot of trouble, because I think he's just trying to buy his way out of it. But obviously this is just paper talk. But I don't think you can go for any of them. Salah's the only one that's kind of nailed in that team in terms of playing minutes, and even he's starting to go off early sometimes. So it's a tough one. Have you got any love for Szoboszlai? 58th on this list.
No, not really. I mean, Andy was pretty big on him when he came on BlackBox before the international break. Old slippers. Yeah. I said to him, I just don't understand this Szoboszlai love, and he was like, he's absolutely fine. He's like, his def comp 90 is in and around 12. If he plays at right back, he's higher of getting it. If he plays in the 10, he's got some set pieces, but his stats are really, really poor. But I guess he's similar-ish to like Rice, right? Like Rice's stats aren't great. I've got Rice in my team. The stats don't really matter because he has got routes to points.
I think his stats are hard to process though, because if I remember rightly, he had one game where he got like 20 DEFCON. He's played right back a couple times this season as well. In the role he's playing at the moment, I don't know whether DEFCON can carry on like it is, if that makes sense. And he's definitely going to be a bit more attacking. He's been great internationally so far this season. I just don't see it. I feel like Szoboszlai is that, I don't know who else to get, so I'm just going to get him. That's what it feels like, if that makes sense. And to a worse extent, Gravenberch, because are people really buying Gravenberch right now?
Sam is. She was talking. She was. I said to her, if you come on to the next Scout Q&A and you've got Gravenberch and Casado, like, who are you?
She's changed. The game has changed.
She has. The game has changed. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Szoboszlai. I mean, I couldn't believe Rodgers down in 93rd.
Yeah.
Another
really
player.
surprising.
Another player who goes like international duty, plays for England and looks like incredible. You've got so many players this season playing in Champions League games, European games, international games. Even Wirtz. I mean, I think Wirtz started both games for Germany, and it looks. I know it looks really, really good. But
Jordan Webber in the chat, by the way, I've tried clicking on it, but it's not coming up. Saying Szoboszlai's on 4 yellows as well, which is not overly friendly, because obviously if he gets that 5th yellow, he's suspended.
I mean, would you pick Szoboszlai over? I mean, some of the other players on this list. I mean, Sarr, for example, Ismaila Sarr, he's in 9th. Mbumo is 5th. I don't know why he's so intent on selling Doku on the stream, but even someone like Rice or Ndai for Everton with the Pens. You've got Saka in there as well. You've got Enzo Fernandez, who I've got. I would just put him so far down the list of like. It just feels like you're trying to get a Liverpool player and you don't know who to get, so you go for Szoboszlai.
Yeah, he could do well. He could get a few returns and things, and obviously then we'd look a little bit silly. But I'm not seeing it myself at the moment.
Isak?
Yeah, no, not massively.
I don't think he's on this list, actually. I don't think he's played enough minutes.
The fixtures are there. That's the only thing I'd say. But he's going to be sharing minutes with Ekitike still. You know, Slot came out a while ago, didn't he, saying that Isak's still kind of being managed. He's not that kind of player that can play 3 games in a week. And so Ekitike is going to be playing some games and he's going to be getting some minutes off him. So, no, I don't like it personally. Potentially when Salah's gone, if Isak's on pens, I think that's a different conversation. But at the moment, no.
So what we're saying then, it's no one.
Basically, yeah. There's none at the moment. If we put all of these players into your transfers and into your little transfer version 1,
your plug.
I think it would be really hard to justify any Liverpool players.
Should we put Szoboszlai in?
No. Let's not go back to it right now. Let's wait till version 2. Let's wait till version 2. But does that mean the same for Van Dijk, though? That's the question.
Well, the difference with Van Dijk is there feels like there is a bit of a spot for him, whereas midfielders are so congested. Whereas defence, I mean, there's good options, but it's less risky, isn't it? Like if Van Dijk, like the chances of Van Dijk just blanking over the next 6 weeks are pretty low, I think. Whereas I feel like Szoboszlai could just do crap for a while, and then you're like, why did I get him? Whereas at least with Van Dijk, you're going to buy him and he blanks. You're like, well, do you know what? If they've conceded to Forest, like the teams they've got, West you couldn't really see that. West, exactly, yeah. I know. Like, surely he's going to get something from those.
People in the chat, Derek Knowles is saying, how long is Alisson out for? I think he's supposed to be back now.
Yeah, he's back soon.
You know, he could even play this weekend potentially. So, yeah, I think that's a big difference.
Yep. No one can hear my foot tapping, by the way. It's just you.
No, there was a few. Yeah,
they probably got premium headsets.
No, they've just got a microphone in your room.
That's not our real, maybe. Yeah, I wonder what that weird flashing light was.
Yeah, that's Stark's microphone.
Captain Marvel. That's the final talking point of today, and that talking point is captains generally, because we have a rare opportunity, Andy, to captain a player who isn't Erling Haaland. You can still captain Erling Haaland. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't. Newcastle are not great. But the numbers suggest that they aren't bad. They actually have the second best defence in the league so far. Not that you'd believe it, because ever since I bought Pope, he's conceded in pretty much every game I've had him in. But the numbers are still good. And it's Man City away where they're less potent, and it's Newcastle at home where you back them a little bit more. So sort of aligned a little bit to go against Haaland this week. And I think also we have good options elsewhere, because there's sometimes you look at Haaland and you think, okay, he's got a bad fixture, but there's not really anyone else that I like the look of. A few players I put on here: Mateta, Saka, Pedro, Salah, and Mbumo. All got good fixtures. Wolves, Spurs, Burnley, Nottingham Forest, Everton. I like all of those. Yeah. Mateta is now playing for the team with statistically the best attack in the league, and that's despite the 0-0 with Brighton. Actually put them above, I think it was Liverpool. No, it's above Man City off the back of that. But I mean, look at the team attack ratings of these teams. I mean, they're literally 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then look at the opponents they're playing, and they're 15th, 14th, 15th, 16th, and 20th as well. So, got some options, right?
I think you have. And I said it on Scoutcast last night that this feels like a week where you could go against Haaland. And people said it last week, and obviously you're always going to have those people that say you don't go against Haaland. You just captain him every week and you don't have to worry about it. And I get that, but I do think you have to look to see if there's any weeks where you can go against it. And this does feel like one of those weeks. It feels like Newcastle might turn this into a battle like they always do at St James's Park. And if they do that, they can do well against anybody. They have done it a few times this year where they've battled and come out with a good result, but it's not always necessarily been with a clean sheet. So I am worried that Haaland, last week, if Haaland scored that pen, he's getting another 13-pointer, and you're walking away thinking, yeah, you just captain Haaland every week. But this does feel like a week where you can do it because there's other options. I think Mateta's a great shout this week. I really do. Against Wolves, Wolves are so poor at the back. I know they've just lost their manager, so whether they get a bit of new manager bounce, but with Palace's stats, him on penalties, he's already done it once this year where he's gone absolutely massive in a game. I feel like if I was going to go against Haaland this week, it wouldn't be for Saka, it would be for Mateta.
What do you think of the Rob Edwards appointment?
Yeah, I'm not enamoured, but then I'm reserving judgment because I really went in on Keith Andrews when he went to Brentford, and obviously that's turned out to be absolutely amazing. So I'm reserving judgment. I think Wolves are. I think they're going to struggle anyway. To be perfectly honest, I think this team has done better than they should have done for quite a few seasons now, and I think this is the year where it all comes down. But yeah, so I think Mateta would be my choice.
I like Edwards. He did obviously amazing things at Luton. I was gutted he didn't manage to keep them up at the end, but then they got successive relegations, didn't they? They went down twice. But then he went to Middlesbrough. He's been doing really, really well there. I think they were second in the league when he left. And he must have seen something in that squad because you're manager of Middlesbrough. You're riding high in the league, and you're taking over a team who just look doomed. Yeah. So he must see something.
Middlesbrough. I mean, people might hate me in the chat. I feel like Middlesbrough are a better club than Wolves. I feel like they're a well-run club.
That is gonna cause some.
They are. They're a well-run club. They've got a good owner as well. Wolves, it's you've got to play a certain amount of Portuguese players. You can only sign players from Portugal. Like I would struggle to go to a team.
Why do you hate
Wolves.
Portugal?
I don't hate Portugal, but it'd be like one of those ones on Footy Man where you go there and go, oh my god, look at all those stipulations for being a manager of this club, and you'd hate it, wouldn't you? And
morale is very low. Oh no, everyone wants to leave.
I don't know. I it's a weird move for me. But obviously someone had to go there. Is he? He hasn't been there long enough to make a difference. I think Mateta's a good shout this week. This isn't me saying that 100% go against Haaland. I just feel like this could be a week where you can.
I actually think in terms of manager bounce though, I mean, sometimes I look at a manager coming in, and I think it was like with Postecoglou, it was like, I know we say there's going to be a manager bounce, but Postecoglou, like, going to change the style and change everything at Forest? Didn't happen. It was awful. But I feel like Edwards is actually the perfect appointment for Wolves. He clearly wanted to go there. He's got the ties in there. I think he made over 100 appearances for them in the league, and he's got that personality, I think, which can just get a few players who have been a bit under the cosh, rightly so, because they've been really poor, just get them a bit galvanised. Whether that's going to be enough, I think the fact it's a home game at first is encouraging, but I would still expect Palace to win that, and I think Mateta is a great pick. I'm looking at Saka though. Yeah. I'm looking at Saka in that derby game and thinking, I know Spurs have been better away from home, but I think Arsenal are so good this year. I know the Sunderland game, I know the 2-2 and all that. They'll be really, really annoyed about that, but I still think it's their league to lose.
I think you want them to concede though. If you're going with Saka, I think you want them to concede because then they have to score. I think the worry with Saka for me every week is that they just get a 1-0 win and walk away happy. That would always be my worry. So if they do have a 2-2 like they did against Sunderland, I think that's great for Saka. So it's how busy you think that North London derby is going to be. Spurs away from home, like I said, they've genuinely been really good away from home. It's at home they can't seem to do anything. So I said this last week though about Saka, and obviously he got a 12-pointer. So yeah, I would put Mateta ahead of Saka, but then Saka's obviously a mid, so that does help him.
Yep. Pedro against Burnley?
Not feeling that at all.
No? Enzo?
No.
Wembo? No.
Is Enzo going to play? I'm assuming he is, because obviously he didn't go away, did he?
Yeah, he would have thought so. I mean, the beauty of Pedro or Enzo is they are playing the worst defence in the league, and that is Burnley. I mean, in terms of XGC per 90, 2.03. I mean, playing in this league where your expected goals is over 2 a game is that's just not sustainable. Like you're gonna get relegated. I don't care how many odd points you pick up. Like if you're conceding 2 goals a game, it's just too high, and that puts them bottom. In total. I mean, against Man United, Man United in 19th, 1.4. So shows that things are just as bad on the Man U front. But yeah, 22 goals conceded for Burnley. I just it's really really poor for them, and we all say like, well, but they're better at home. Don't worry, they're better at home. I looked into the stats; they're not that much better at home in terms of the chances they're keeping out. So I do think Chelsea are a pretty good side to back this week, and I'm not going to take any plaudits for saying that, but I think Chelsea should win that pretty comfortably.
Yeah, what have you got? You got Enzo, haven't you?
I've got Enzo, and I swear to God, if he doesn't get me any points this week, I'm going to throw every toy I have out of the pram.
I mean, I like the Mbumo shout there, and obviously Bruno I don't think's awful either. But how much are we expecting against Everton? I don't know. I think Mateta and Saka are clear of those.
Yep. Who are you going for? Mateta?
If I don't go Haaland, if I really fancy a kind of spicy week, then I think Mateta. Because when does Haaland play?
I swear, if you do Gabriel to Van Dijk and Captain Haaland, I'm going to just buy you some vanilla ice cream and a ham sandwich from Boots and a bottle of water.
Yeah, do you know, I'd enjoy that, actually.
Yeah, as I said, it actually sounded quite nice.
Yeah.
What did you say? What time? What times? Yeah, it's ridiculous. Andy, we're doing a podcast looking at stats, looking at all these like intricate things about why you should buy players. Look at my spreadsheet, and now you're saying you're going to captain a player because he's playing at bloody 5:30 on a Saturday, and
I'm just
Saka's on at the 4:30.
Yeah, it is 5:30 on a yeah.
Yep.
And Mateta's playing at 3. So, yeah, my day could be ruined by.
So I add that
5.
to the spreadsheet.
Yes.
Expected points based on time
points.
played. Candy points, exactly. I think that's it for the talking points. That was all 4, wasn't it? And to be honest, I think we've covered all the stats tables that I wanted to cover. The one we didn't cover was the team attack data. Let me just pull that up, which is here. So we have Chelsea at the top of that, which I thought was quite interesting, given they do play the worst team in the league. So they are statistically the best team in the league, attacking-wise, playing the worst team in the league. City second, Arsenal third, Spurs 15th. What has happened? Frank Ball has not really paid off in the way that many of us thought it would. Below West Ham.
It's because Van der Ven's scoring all their goals.
Oh, yeah. Do you see his run again in the for Holland? He beat about 4 players, and then a player just hacked him down and was like, absolutely not. You are not scoring this again. Honestly, though, he beat about 4 players and looked like he was heading towards goal again.
Casemiro did that to him in the last game as well. He literally, Van der Ven put his head up and thought, I'm going to run it. And Casemiro went, no, you're not. It just took him out.
The thing is, if that's just a thing he's going to do now, that does make him a slightly more exciting option.
Well, I've got him. He's terrible for DEFCON, and you're not going to play him in those games he gets those braces, which is so annoying. But yeah, no, it's interesting seeing Chelsea up here, but they do spread their goals out, don't they? They really do. Between like Neto, Esteval's obviously playing at times, and you've got Pedro getting them. Delap's now back as well. Enzo's obviously on penalties. Palmer's not even back yet. So yeah, it's really tough to know who to get in for them, to be perfectly honest. Man City in second. Obviously, we've all got Haaland anyway. Arsenal in third. Arsenal in third, with everything I've been saying, with obviously, with their defence, they're third in terms of attack. Saka is obviously, but then Crystal Palace are fourth with exactly the same XG non-penalty per 90. So
I'm happy. I am happy I bought Rice. I I watched him in that game. I know he blanked in it, but he's a funny player because it's like the stats, you can't really judge him on them because he's a bit like Ramsey, I think, when he was at Arsenal and looking well. Some of the runs he makes, some of the positions he takes up, you're like, okay, this guy's got it in him to be a very, very effective 8. And then you add in the set pieces, the corners, the free kicks. I still think he is a very, very good option. And I think his stock's actually taken a bit of a boost now that Gabriel's out, because I think if a lot of people could maybe choose to do Gabriel to Rice in one move, they might. Especially people with 2. I think the double up on the Arsenal defence now with Gabriel out and the fixtures, it's not as good as it was before. If I offered you Rice for Gabriel in like a draft league for the next, that's a bad example. Rice or next 6 weeks, like Rice or Calafiori or Rice or Timber, surely it's close.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, when you were discussing it then, I was just thinking, if I come off Gabriel and I don't get an Arsenal defender, when do I get triple Arsenal again? And obviously, in Gameweek 14, do you do it Brentford at home, and then it's Villa away and then Wolves at home? And then you've got 2 weeks worth of data to see whether it's Mosquera or Hincapie that have come in, whether they're, Timber's back, whether Calafiori's back properly. I think waiting's one of the best shouts. Obviously, Timber's there, so I get it. But I think waiting until game week 14, because you're not going to invest, in game week 13, are you? And to be honest, most free hitters will be annoyed that people would maybe be on 2 Chelsea rather than 3 if they think Chelsea are going to do something against Arsenal. So, yeah. Don't know. It's a tough one. I don't think I'd be wanting to go to double Arsenal attack.
Okay.
No.
Poor Rice. Poor Rice that's gonna be the difference. I'm gonna catch up these 100 points on you with my.
Is that what it is?
My Rice points.
Get your Pilau out.
No Big Gabby. Get your Oh, Andy, that's the worst thing you've ever said on these streams. BT1 says no Big Gabby though at the end of those corners. That is very true. Be interesting to see if whoever the new defender comes in is going to have anywhere near as much goal threat as Gabriel did. Something that tells me probably not. 700 people watching live, which is amazing. Thank you all for coming in. We didn't mention this at the start. I thought I'd try a new time slot for this because, Andrew North, it's Black Friday. Do you know what Black Friday means?
Here it is.
It means Manscaped have got a 25% offer site-wide. So if you are looking to shave your groin, shave your body hair, use their various body. They've got like a loofah thing, which I use every day, which is very nice. They've got varieties of different creams and body washes, all these different things. And they are obviously an amazing sponsor of BlackBox and have been for quite a few years now. And there's no code. The offer is 25% off. They're not even going to know that you've come and bought their grooming products from us. So maybe you can use the code anyway and just put BlackBox in and see what happens. But if you get the option to put a code in, put BlackBox in so they know it's from us. But generally, it's the best time to buy Manscaped. All their stuff is literally amazing. They do beard shavers. They do obviously the ball trimmers. They do nose, ear. I don't know about you, Andy. I'm getting pretty bad ear hair these days.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, mate. Do you use? I'm assuming there's different shavers, so you don't do your groin and then go up to your ears.
I'm not an animal.
Good. Just checking.
No, you buy the beard shaver and you buy the ball shaver and you buy the nose and ear trimmer. They've got some other weird ones. There's lots of little weird gadgets coming out, but buy them all basically and use BlackBox code, and then they might sponsor us again next year. So that'll be the dream.
They are very good.
They are very good. They are very good. And the white gold one is particularly nice.
White gold. I'm still waiting for their blue steel version.
Look at this from Jay. Oh, hang on, I ruined it. Manscaped. That means Az is going to do some serious foot tapping.
It's true.
And Stop Forcing wants to buy a second-hand ball shaver from Az. Gonna have to charge extra. You won't get the 25% discount on that, my friend. That's gonna be a big old boost.
Imagine that market. Imagine that market on eBay. Oh,
do you reckon there is a market? Do you reckon I could sell that to anyone?
Oh, no, yeah, maybe. Maybe some people that don't like you, maybe.
Ant's in the chat. He's my biggest fan. There's a few others that I could mention as well.
Maybe for people that want to make voodoo dolls. I don't know.
Absolutely, but do check out Manscaped. They genuinely are. The products are amazing. We wouldn't be having them as a sponsor if I genuinely didn't believe they were great products. The 25% off is the best that I've seen since I've been doing these. And Christmas is coming up, and why not treat your partner to some freshly shaven balls? That's all I can say.
Exactly.
Yep. Lovely stuff. Let's take a look at some predictions then.
Yes.
And the standings, Andrew North, are getting very close because you had a very, very good game week 11.
I did. I was so happy. Honestly, this is the thing I look at first now.
Yeah. Whenever
I'm watching games, I'm like, oh yeah, because I've come so close so often, and I had a really good week this week, so I was very excited. So I've gone up to 7% correct scores, which helped because I had 2, I think there were 3-pointers this week, so up to 74 and only 1 away from you. Interesting saying though, Luke is only 5 points away from us, or 5 and 6 points away from us, and he's put in 11 less predictions.
How has he missed? I can understand if you miss a week, but how has he missed 1?
I know,
just one game.
But that's his season. Like if he played it as he says it, he would be top of most leagues. But so no, happy with that. 53% correct outcomes, not being beaten by too many.
It's high. Yeah, you just need to get it's the scores that get you those extra 2 points for the correct scores are everything. I mean, what this does show is I'm good at predicting the results, and that hasn't correlated with a good FPL season, but that just shows variance.
Yeah,
that's what it tells me.
Variance.
All down to variance.
Keep going, Mercurial Squid. You're my favourite person in the world, so keep going.
Mercurial Squid is second. Actor Jeff, though, 87 points. Fair play. He's starting to pull away a little bit. So,
Cracking.
yeah, we need to up our game. These are our predictions for this week. First game is Burnley versus Chelsea. I mentioned it's the top attack statistically versus the worst defence. So I've gone for a comfortable 2-0 to Chelsea, and you've gone for a 2-1.
Yeah, fancy Burnley to score at home.
Yep. You fancy them to score? Interesting.
I do.
That won't be very good for my Cucurella pick. I can't buy Cucurella. I can't. Just can't do it. It's not going to happen. Liverpool, Forest, both gone for a 2-0. Seems pretty obvious. 2-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, Van Dijk, 8 points. Take it and run.
Yes. When you look at this is why some people I know don't love the predictions that we do. I think if there was one bit we were going to drop, it might be this one. But it does help frame it sometimes when you're like, yeah, Liverpool Forest, that is just going to be a 2-0, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't always work out like that, but it's when you frame it like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Wolves Palace, 2-0 Palace, both of us.
Yeah, and you got to expect those big defcons again from those centre backs. So like Gahey looks like he's going to be back. Lacroix's killed it. Yeah, 2-0.
Yeah, and you've got Munoz. Won't be getting any defcons.
No, I know. No, you just be getting a brace. It's fine.
Yeah.
When I captain Mateta.
Yeah. What about Munoz as a captain?
No.
Would you be tempted by that?
No.
Okay. Fine. Bournemouth West Ham. I've gone for a 2-0 Bournemouth. You've gone for a 2-1. Need to get back to winning ways. Bournemouth. They have been on the slide.
Yeah, they really have. I think it's because of the opposition they've had, and obviously the high line they play and the way they play. So I'm expecting against West Ham for them to get back to winning ways. But I do fancy West Ham to score. They've scored quite free-flowing in free-flowing games recently, so I expect them to score.
If Juve scores, I'm going to launch myself off something high because...
You're setting yourself up to do this so often. Yeah, there's so many things you've said. If this happens, I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah, I'm not happy, Andy. I'm not a happy man. There's lots that can set me off these days. Loads of people in the chat, by the way, saying about predictions. Never drop predictions. Keep the predictions. Can't drop predictions. Every time I suggest it, everyone goes mental about it. But if you look at the chat or the YouTube comments, the number one thing people mention in the comments about what we could drop is the predictions.
Well, anybody in the chat that said keep them, can you drop a comment in the
that will help. Yeah, that will help actually. Yeah, thanks. Good for the algorithm as well. Good thinking. Thinking. Brighton Brentford. I was really surprised with your score for this one. You've gone for a 0-0.
Yeah, Brighton are keeping clean sheets, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to continue.
Yeah. No, it's a long shot in it, 0-0, but that could change. But 2-1 is probably more realistic, like you've gone.
Yeah, I think there's probably some goals in this one. You got the two informed strikers, and then forget Haaland. It's Welbeck versus Thiago. That's what the real battle for the Golden Boot.
Yeah, very true. No, we'll see what happens in that one.
I've gone for a 0-0 on the next one. Fulham Sunderland. I've gone for a 0-0 in that, and again, I think that'd be very, very good for Anderson. Anderson is the one who every week I look at people playing him and him getting his 4 to 6 points or whatever, and I think 4-5. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
So, and I've got Juve. I'm like, why have I got him? Anderson's getting those points every week. You've gone for a 1-0 Fulham. Your beloved Sunderland.
I back Sunderland at home. I don't back them away from home. So
Interesting. It's probably the Garden Centre game, isn't it, that one? Oh, it's at 3 o'clock. We can't pick it.
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
It would be.
Leeds Villa, I think, will be, won't it?
Yeah, it's got to be. Newcastle City is next. That's the 5:30 game on Saturday. That should be a good game. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
We both,
Did you know what?
we both backed City 2-1.
Yeah, I think 2-1 makes sense. I do fancy Newcastle to score, and I think they're going to make it a fight. So, yeah, 2-1.
Yep. Leeds Villa, I agree with you. I think that is the Garden Centre game. I thought about this one for ages, and I thought, do you know what? I think Leeds could win this. I think that was an anomaly for Villa, and they'll come back and they'll be all, we're back and we're going to be great. And then you go to Ellen Road, and that's not an easy place to go. I've gone for a 1-0. You've gone for a 2-1 Leeds.
Yeah, no, exactly the same. I don't mind Leeds at home. I think with the crowd behind them, and like you just said, Villa international break, I feel like that momentum's maybe gone a bit. Yeah, back Leeds.
Yep. Arsenal Spurs, that should be a good game on Sunday afternoon. I've gone for 2-0, you've gone for a 2-1 to Arsenal.
Yeah. Hence my kind of thinking that I don't really want to go to an Arsenal defender quite yet. So I feel like Spurs can win. Like I said, away from home, they're good. I feel like Arsenal will get the win, but I feel like Spurs will score. So I've gone for the 2-1.
Yep. Calvert-Lewin brace, says Avinia. I'm. You'll see my team in a minute. I am still a little bit tempted to bench boost, and that would involve a Calvert-Lewin bench boost.
Oh, do it. Please do it.
Imagine
Please.
the redemption arc is here. And then the final game is on Monday, and I'm going to have no players from this game, which does worry me quite a bit. It's Manchester United versus Everton. I think there's some goals in this one. I've gone for a 2-1, and you've gone for a 2-0, both to Manchester United. And Mbumo, Fernandes worries me.
I feel good owning Bruno. But I think for Mbumo owners, I think you can go into almost any game thinking he could get you returns. So I think Mbumo owners have done well investing when they did.
Sesko out as well. You'd expect Mount to drop deeper and Mbumo to push up even higher. I think that's good for him.
It's such a shame because, I mean, Xerxes been told he's not going anywhere, but he's not going to be starting. So, yeah, it's such a shame Sesko's out because he does help link things up. But yeah, it'd be Mount, you would have thought. Comes in, drops deeper, which means Cunha and Mbumo push forward a bit more. Cunha maybe a bit further forward. So, yeah, I think against Everton, I'm expecting a professional win. If we really have turned a corner and we come out of this 2-0, even 2-1, I think we're doing well.
Oh, and Mbumo brace, that would really hurt because I was very, very hot on him even before his 2 goals against Brighton. And he's one of the... Don't you hate it in FPL when you really, really want a player but you can't quite find a route to them? Yeah. And then you just watch them every week just getting points and chipping in. It's not a nice place to be. Alex Mason doesn't like our predictions. He says they're very safe. No team scoring 3 or more. Then it's hard to predict. It's hard to predict 3 or more goals, and it's hard to predict draws as well. I don't think we've gone for a single. There's 1 draw in our 20 predictions. Oh no, 2. You've gone for the Brentford one. Okay, 2 out of 20 we've gone for in terms of draws.
I mean, based on historical data, I'll bet United score 3 because we like beating Everton 3-0. So I'll go for that.
Speaking of bets, Andy, or promises, shouldn't you be wearing a Liverpool top?
No. The things I can't be held accountable for the things I said when I was a traitor. All right, I needed to say whatever I needed to say to get the win.
Yeah, but then you still have to do it. You get the win, but you've still
I was also backstabbed by the traitors, and I felt more of a faithful by the end. So.
Stark was in the chat earlier. Stark was the one who, he was the VIP of the game. God, I'm so flipping glad he didn't win. I'll tell you, could not be more happy. Let's take a quick look at our teams then before we finish. This is your team and how you're shaped up for game week 12. 4 at the back again. You're loving 4 at the back these days.
Well, yeah, I changed my team so I could play 4 at the back more often because of everything with DEFCONs and the way defenders have been playing. So Gabriel to Van Dijk is most likely what I'm going to do. I am quite happy waiting for another 2 weeks to invest in another Arsenal defender because I feel like the double up with Arsenal defence, obviously their EO is going to be massively impacted by Gabriel being out. So I don't think I'm going to be hurt too much, only one Arsenal defender. I will most likely do Van Dijk. Semenyo, I think, is going to play, but if he doesn't, I've still got Xhaka that can come in, which I think is quite good.
Xhaka was a nice move.
Yeah, I got Krupi Jr. there, who I think is going to be sharing minutes with Evan Nil. Somebody could start, and against West Ham at home, that's not too bad either. So, yeah, it's just going to be Gabriel to Van Dijk. I've got 0 in the bank, and I've got 1 free transfer. So I'm going to be using that, free up a bit of funds, is what it is.
God, that's dull. Fernandes in the team, Van Dijk, Haaland captain.
That could be worse. I could do Semenyo to Gravenberch and do Bruno Fernandes to Caicedo and then get some defensive mids in.
Yeah, I like that. That's more exciting, weirdly enough, to do that. Imagine suggesting those moves a year ago.
Crazy.
I mean, they're bad enough now, let alone then. This is my team. So I've got Pope in goal, Gabriel, Lacroix, Senesi, Saka currently captained, Semenyo, Rice, Sarr and Enzo, Haaland and Mateta. I still look at this team and I know I'm biased, but I still don't really know how I'm 4.9 million in the world. I go into every week thinking it looks all right, and Enzo and Gord have just been killers for me because they just haven't done anything, and obviously Gordon's now gone, but Anyway, and then the bench is Dubravka, Goodmanson, Juve, and Calvert-Lewin. And my plan was, assuming I had no flags, was to do Calvert-Lewin to Thiago, because I've got the money in the bank, and then bench boost. But if Gabriel's out, I can't really do it, can I? Unless I do bank on Calvert-Lewin.
Do Burnley have... They got Fulham in 16, but apart from that, there's not really another week you get a nice Burnley home game. Because that's obviously the other thing. But at least he's playing. He can get you some save points, couldn't he? I'm
not really worrying about him. I'll just take whatever he gets. It's more about the other three.
Leeds at home isn't too bad.
Yeah, and I'm backing them for the win. I mean, a 1-0 Leeds with a Calvert-Lewin goal and a Goodmanson clean sheet would be... But then I don't think I can risk it, because if Semenyo or Enzo do miss out... Now, I don't think I'm going to do it, which is annoying, because I was looking forward to getting it. Davies family says, I have almost the same team as you, and I'm 40,000 in the world. That's really good to know, Davies family. I'm so happy for you.
I bet you any money Davies family didn't bring in Alanga and Morgan Gibbs-White this year. So,
yeah, that wasn't my finest moment. I think I'm going to do Gabriel to Timber, and then that's it.
Yeah, fair.
Which I think is fine, but it's not
I'm
most
assuming,
exciting.
By the way, I was saying all that about Dubravka. I'm assuming it's not Pope you're benching this week.
Well, they're both going to concede, aren't they? Like, it doesn't even matter. I think Newcastle have got more of a chance of an upset against City than Burnley have against Chelsea. So, yeah, but I don't know. I think the team looks all right, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We have had a couple of super chats, so thank you for those. I'll read those. Thank you to Dal, who I haven't seen in a while. Good to see you. I don't really want to read this first part of the question out, but he did pay us a £5, so I think I will. I'm currently ranked 121k and had 7 green arrows out of 8. Is that any good?
To have 7 greens out of 8 and only 121k, no. I think you should be higher than that.
Love that answer. That's exactly what I wanted. Also going to Captain Mbumo. Thoughts?
Yeah, but he's on our list, isn't he? It's just whether it's one of those things whether you can stomach it, like, you know, whether you can stomach the fact that Haaland could get a brace, but so could Mbumo. So it's whether you can stomach it, basically.
I know we really shouldn't be talking about it, but the fact it's Monday night as well. Like, imagine you get to Monday night, Haaland's got your 2, Saka's got 2, Mateta's got 2. That's what always happens. Though. You get to Monday night and you'd be like, right, and then Mbumo injured after 15 minutes. You'd be like, oh, that's the FPL that I know. Would you go Mbumo over Fernandes if you had him?
For captaincy?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I would. Yeah.
Yep, so would I. And Davies family, although bragging about your rank, thank you for the super chat. Gabriel to Senesi. We didn't talk about Senesi actually. Mm-hmm. If you haven't got Senesi, one of very few. I think he's owned by about 75% of the top 100k, something like that. Cool. Which is you, Davies, because you are in the top 100k. If you didn't have him, would you do Gabriel to Senesi to enable Rice to Mbumo? Or Van Dijk. I mean, I wouldn't be losing Rice. I think he's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine.
I'm assuming then he'd only have one Arsenal. I don't think you need to lose Rice, but I don't mind those moves if they're for free. I genuinely don't. I think Senesi is fine. Senesi's a hold for the season. They've got 2 or 3 nice home fixtures coming up as well. I don't think that's a bad move. I'm assuming you'd be playing Senesi as well. And I don't think Rice to Mbumo's that bad. But yeah, Rice, you wouldn't really want to be selling him.
Would you do Gabriel to Senesi as a priority if you didn't have him? I think he's right up there with must own, I think, Senesi. I mean,
West Ham at home, Sunderland away, Everton at home. You'd be hoping for 2 clean sheets out of those 3. And that's not even including DEFCON. Yeah.
I'd get him. I'd get him. He's 40k in the world as well. You're competing against a massively high proportion of people that have him. I would just lock that off now. Get Senesi in. I think he's the best. He's arguably the best defender to own over the next 6 because their fixtures are so good. I would just get him. That's it.
Lovely.
That is everything. Good to be back. Good to have you back on BlackBox, Andy. Missed you. It was nice that Slippers stepped in for the late tackle, but.
Yeah,
obviously missed you on the last one.
No, thank you very much for having me again. It's been nice to get back into it, and obviously I think we were messaging before we started this saying I'm quite excited for this one. It was quite nice to get back into it, get kind of talking about FPL again. It's been a little while. it's nice to have the international break and have a proper break. It's also been nice trying to manipulate as over the international break. So it's been good. It's hopefully
Can I
for
just
some green
remind
arrows.
you?
There he is.
There he is, the winner.
It's
of
easy.
FPL
It's
Traitors.
easy to win as a faithful. But no,
You lost last year.
thank you very much for having me again, though, mate.
You're very welcome. And you're going to be on Late Tackle with Luke on Friday.
I am indeed. We're going to go for 9:30, I think, to start.
Perfect. And I'll set that up for you, and I'll actually be around so I can make sure there's no problems this time. Lovely stuff. Thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Apparently someone in my apartment complex was going to tune in tonight. So Jake, if you did watch, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you actually made it through an hour and 36 minutes, then fair play to you. And if you don't mention to me that I shouted you out, then I'll know you didn't make it to an hour 36.
There he is.
And I'll hold that against you for the rest of your life. But anyway, good luck everyone in Gameweek 12. Hopefully we all get some green arrows. I could use one. And we'll see you next week ahead of Gameweek 13.